Now there's no.
Hey, how y'all doing today? Well, folks, we have got issues. Really? I just shared that. Well, as you can see on the bottom right hand side of the screen, Allied fighter jets have downed a drone that has entered Latvian airspace this morning. Well, knew this was coming. They're still testing. They're still testing. We're getting close to this kicking off. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. I mean, this is becoming an every single day occurrence. And this being up in Latvia, up in the Baltics, like, you've got the entire Belarus between Ukraine and Latvia. And we have Russian drones flying around in Latvia. Now, folks, I mean, the Russians are just pretty much doing whatever they please anymore. Whatever they please. There's no trying to hide it at this point. There's no trying to hide it at this point. I mean, we just had one over Romania yesterday. It wasn't downed, but it flew into Romania for about 10 minutes and then went back into Ukraine. We had missiles in Poland. We've got assassination attempts in Germany. And not in Germany, but in Poland on U.S. citizens. Oh, yay, here, look at this. A drone has crashed in Romania, around 5 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. It's crashed in a wooded area, exploded, and caused a fire. This morning, too. Another one this morning. Oh, here. Putin plans to take control of Moldova once he has finished Ukraine. Top officials in a top secret mission last year, his goal in 2026 was to collapse the EU and NATO from within. Oh, oh wow. 1 hour ago, a Russian Shahed drone was just seen flying over Lincitieva, Romania. So we got Latvia, Romania, and yeah, Latvia and Romania today. There was something here I just saw from, but I wanted to. It refreshed on me before I could. Oh, Romania has just discovered another crash drone near Plotu, 2 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. A drone that has been found by the local resident in a field. This is the fourth drone discovered in Romania today. So 4 drones have been discovered in Romania today. Now we've got drones being shot down in Latvia. Ukraine has hit a train carrying North Korean ballistic missiles more than 6,000 kilometers from the front line. You can't deny it at this point. You can't deny it. Russia is determined to start a war with NATO. You can't even deny it at this point. Non-deniable, folks. It is non-deniable at this point. 4 drones in Romania found today. Drone shot down over Latvia. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. Not even trying to hide it anymore. Yep, home user, I think we will too. Um, Last December, Putin, in an address to the military commanders, said European leaders are stroking hysteria over the threat from Russia. Soon afterwards, he gathered his leaders in a secret briefing to deliver the exact opposite message. Their goal to is the collapse of NATO and the European Union from within. Moldova is central to this effort. In the hierarchy of the Kremlin priorities, the Western intelligence officials say conquering Ukraine first and taking control of Moldova is second, and then therefore following. Folks, we told you what was coming, and it's coming out little by little by little. These drones are upticking. And what does Trump do? What does he do? Hang on a minute. Let me tell you what he gets done. Let me tell you what he gets done. And of course, why I hate X anymore. It won't load anything you share. Of course, it's not going to load it. I've got one from last night. The one I had a minute ago had some a little bit better intel on it. But Trump has imposed steep tariffs on drone imports. Huh. This comes just a few weeks after Zelensky and him announced that they have reached a deal on the agreement of sale of Ukrainian drones to the U.S. Certain drones have a 100% tariff on them. He just announced this yesterday. It is imposing steep tariffs on drone imports. Make that make sense? Just when we need drones. Ugh. It's amazing. This is just practically just amazing. A drone fragment has been found on a beach in Saturn, Romania. Tourists have been evacuated from the area. The beach has been cordored off and access restricted. Poland and Ukraine, this is a big one here, are in the final stages of a deal which would see Polish MiG 29 jets given to Ukraine in exchange for drones and battlefield application knowledge. I repeat that. Poland and Ukraine are in the final stages of a deal which would see Polish MiG 29s given to Ukraine in exchange for drones and battlefield application knowledge. The Russians are attacking Ukrainians in Poland. This poster here says, I thought the attacks on Ukrainians would have stopped. But no, unfortunately, in Poland, people are still being spat on, punched, and their businesses damaged, all for being Ukrainian. Russians are really having a time in Poland. China has showed off drone technology down to just zero point 0.3 grams. It's a mosquito sized drone. It packs propulsion sensors and control systems into an almost microscopic body. Hmm. Good spy. Awesome, awesome spy device. It's the size of a mosquito, folks, and it even looks like a mosquito. I mean, it's crazy. I'll show you if they will let me see my stuff that I'm posting. Nope, you Twitter will not load everything in, but I'm sharing. It's refusing to load and show me what I have been sharing today. Refusing to show me a post from 14 hours ago when I'm over here on the other computer actively sharing stuff. Yep, it will not let me see anything that I've shared today, no matter what I do. I have to go in here and bookmark it and go to my bookmarks to even find it. There's this little mosquito thing that China has made. But yesterday I saw a post of Twitter actively admitting that they are messing with accounts. Actively have admitted that they are messing with accounts like what they're doing to me. I can post something big, caption it, make a really nice post, and it'll get 50 views. We are shadow banned over on Twitter. Terribly shadow banned. I have not had a post see over 1,000 views in like 2 or 3 years. I could drop the biggest news ever over there, and it will see nothing. I got more views when the account was 1 day old than I do now. Make that make sense. Elon Musk is actively shadow banning people. Well, he may not be personally, but his workers definitely are. I mean, it gets got caught that these Chinese coders over here are actively embedding code into the social media platforms to censor people. Actively embedding code in them to censor people. Just it's wild. Absolutely wild. What's going on today? Well, what really has gone on in the last week and a half over Eastern Europe? Oh wow. The RGC has just downed another U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drone over southern Iran. This would make number 48, 47 or 48 now of these that Iran has shot down. Over a quarter of our MQ-9 force has been downed by Iran. But I thought we had completely devastated um, Iran's air defenses, but they keep on down in our drones and other stuff. Musk has been caught on camera laughing at locals worried about their water supply. Can't wait. I've got 75 people. What do you? Hang on a minute, folks. Yep, U.S. last for intel. I disagree with you, but I do agree with you at the same time there, Matt. The U.S. intel is saying that this is going to happen here within the next about 2 weeks. Let me get down to this. So we've got 5 drones, I think is what it was, in Romania that has been found or flew into Romania today. We've got a drone now that has been shot down over Latvia today. Do 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 do. Let's see here. Also, there is families coming out about other ships. This one is from the USS Tripoli. The mother of a sailor who served aboard the USS Tripoli. This is screenshots of the text messages that she has sent in about her son texting her about poor living conditions. Lost over 30 pounds. I'll share this link. So take this with a grain of salt. EAM, folks. There's your EAM. For the first time in the war, for the first time in the war, Iran has used underwater submarine drones in the attack last night on two UAE oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz for refusing to abide by the Iranian navigational instructions. So they're now using underwater submarine drones. Iran is. Romania discovered another crashed drone near Palutu, around 2 kilometers from Ukrainian border. Romania's defense ministry says a specialist team has arrived at the site and has identified the drones and secured the area. Further details will be provided when the situation develops. Here, Trump was asked about family members of U.S. service members are concerned about conditions on the USS Lincoln. Trump says, no, they're not. That ship is moving. What does it matter if the ship is moving? And Trump said, and a reporter asked him, has the deployment gone on too long? Trump, no, not nearly long enough. So he denied the concerns, and the ship is moving, he says, and the deployment has not gone on nearly long enough. What? Folks, I'll be back here in about 20 minutes. Is there anybody in here that can hop on the audio for a minute? I don't see ducks. Well, I'll be back here in just a minute. So, for Lisa, if you want to keep everybody updated a minute, that I'll be back. Give me just a couple minutes. think you all should be able to hear me. I'm on mobile. Got to run down here a second. Dropping air pressure off to somebody. I can't see stream chat, so I hope you all can hear me. This is getting crazy with all these drums. So as we get closer to this kicking off, we're going to see more and more and more of these drones and stuff fly over into the Baltics, Romania, Poland, etc. Now, Ukraine has done a big attack on St. Petersburg. We're up there in St. Petersburg today also. But I am just wondering if one of these drones might have that Ukraine was attacking St. Petersburg with might have drifted over due to electronic warfare. I mean, we have seen that in the past where due to the Russian jamming, electronic warfare they're doing up there, drones getting off course there. It's something to think of. Something to think of right there. Good little possibility that we've had a Ukrainian drone due to the Russian jamming and the Russian electronic warfare and stuff get off course, which would not be Ukraine's fault if that has happened. That would be the Russians' fault. So we will see what happens there with that. I don't know. Yeah, man, I might have to go all the way down here. Yeah, drop this air compressor off. Oh no, here comes the UPS truck on a one-lane road that's not even wide enough for a Toyota pickup truck. Finally, they choose are good. Yeah, we're going to see more and more of these drones, like I've been saying here. I'm trying to figure out something else to yak about here a minute. Because I don't have nothing in front of me and I'm driving down the road. And I really hope you all can hear me, which you should be able to. I think Charlie is out working on his air conditioner. He's had some issues with the problems. Yesterday, I told him, I said, his compressor's not grounding. And this little idea that popped up in my head, I told him, just take you a pair of Jepper cables out there and go from a earth ground somewhere and ground that compressor so at least you'll have some air conditioning. And it worked for him overnight. So he's out there today. Once it's dried up some, working on it. I'm going to get a set of spark plugs and put in this Toyota. It's weak, Phil. And you get your RPMs up, and it'll go take off. It's kind of weird. Might have a cold pack going bad also. Do some testing. I need to pull the plugs out of it. It's got 406,000 miles on it. Then you get a little truck with it's a little 2.4-liter SR5, which is a 5-speed Toyota. Pull my lawnmower with it, so it's really my run-around truck. On it, 2021 had 380,000 on it. I don't drive that much, so I've only put about close to 30,000 miles on it in 5 years. It does. When I bought it, it had a few little spots on the frame. I fixed them, and I've got some more spots coming up on the frame that I'm going to have to cut out and repair. What I've got some old mobile home controller frame, and I've just been cutting it up in little pieces. It's like an I-beam. I think they're like 12 or 14 inch, or no, they're 16-inch I-beams. Like it's the frame underneath your mobile homes. They're about a quarter-inch thick, a little less. Works out really good. Works out pretty good. Somebody's lost a bunch of boxes there in my road. Hey folks, I'm pulling in here a second. Let me hop off here, and I will rejoin this call whenever I leave here in a second. So I'm actually gonna stay on the call. I'm just gonna mute it. Give me just a minute. Hey, you all hear me now? Think you all can hear me? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not for sure. Drive through this little flea market thing here out here a second. I think I'm gonna come down here Sunday and sit up and back the truck, so all these tomatoes and stuff that I've got. Looking for some chunks of brass. Looking for some chunks of brass. Oh, I ain't got nothing like that down here. Need somebody that's got a bunch of old tools and stuff. I need my lawnmower. I've got some bushings on it that I need to make. It's pretty neat how this little lawnmower set up. It's actually got a suspension on it. It's a zero turn, Simplicity brand, and it's got suspension on the rear tires. They're not hard mounted, and my bushings are bad in it. I made some brass bushings for my stump grinder the other day. You can get on the RC channel and you can see that. But I need about a 1-inch piece of brown stock brass. And sometimes there's like these flea markets and stuff. You can find these old chisels and stuff. It's brass. You get them for a couple bucks. I looked up online there, and a chunk of brass is not cheap. You're looking at $70 or $80 for a foot of it. I'm gonna have to hunt me down some brass. I might be able to use aluminum. I definitely don't want to use steel. But brass would be the best option. They sell bushings, but it's them old rubber ones, and they'll last about a year. I can make me some out of brass, and they will last forever. I'm getting a lot of side to side in my rear end on that thing the way it's set up, and it's rubbing against the frame. If you're on the hillside, these 2 yards that I do is steep. Part of the reason why I do them, nobody else wants to do them. So, yeah, I'm looking for some brass. If anybody in chat has any chunks of brass, I wouldn't mind buying them off of you if you could ship them to me. I've got that little lathe, and I can just pop them on there and make them. Yeah, I am looking for some brass. Some brassy brass. Traffic is awful today. Straight up awful today. I'm gonna try to squirt right through here without getting took out. Yep, we made it. I'm almost back to the studio, folks. Give me just a couple of minutes, and we can get back into what I was originally doing here about all these drones and missiles. Well, no missiles today, but they have found everyone's just joining us now. We've got NATO has downed a drone over Latvia. Romania has found, I think, now 5 drones. It's either 4 or 5. I think we're up to 5 now. They have found 5 drones today in Romanian territory. And then yesterday it came out that Russia was planning on trying to, you know what, a U.S. citizen in Poland.
All stations, this is Jim Dandy, break, Kilo, 7, Foxtrot, Bravo.
So we've got big issues here, folks.
Kilo, 7,
this keeps on escalating.
Foxtrot, India, standby.
As we get closer to this,
7, Foxtrot.
as we get closer to the invasion,
India,
we'll see more and more of it. Russia has to have these areas. They have no choice. They have to have one through the GSM. They've got to have these warm water ports and these crop growing areas. See, the Bay of St. Petersburg there will freeze solid during this GSM, and it will cut Russia off completely. I mean, the only really area that Russia will have access to warm water is down around Ukraine if they don't take the markets. That will cut Russia off completely because you won't be able to get nothing out of Brest, Russia up there next top of Sweden, Finland area. You won't be able to get nothing out through St. Petersburg because that'll be froze solid. The only area Russia will have port-wise is the Azov Sea, which the Azov Sea is shallow and it will more than likely freeze over too. So, Russia is kind of in a oh no, what do we do type of thing. They've got to take these areas. They have no choice. For the continued existence of Russia, Russia has to do this. And that's what they're doing. Russia knows. Why Russia has built icebreaker ships left and right. They've got almost 50 of them, if I'm not bad mistaken now. They need the crop growing area of Ukraine, which is the breadbasket of Europe. Because of all, they're not going to be able to grow nothing in Russia, really. It'll frost in July. Middle crop growing season, it'll frost. They've got to have these warm water areas. They don't have a choice, folks. They've got to. And I don't have a choice, and I've got to mow here in a little bit, too. All right, I am back. I'm going to end this, and we will transition back over to the PC. So give me about 30 seconds, and you will hear my voice again through the computer. See you in a second. Hey, folks, I think you can hear me again now. Um, okay, good. You could hear me on the way up and down. Take the air compressor down there. How is everyone this afternoon? Wow, only 14 in here on the U-boats. With this big of news out and only 14 over here. Wow. Looks like we're hitting again already. I noticed a couple of days ago that we started having problems with chat, and our um, reach of the channel kind of shut down. So, because we was gaining 40 or 50 subscribers every stream, and now we're gaining about 5 to 8 subscribers. Very interesting. We're stuck at 330s, in the 330s range now. Yes, crypto Russia is planning to attack soon. It's going to happen sooner than a year. Some U.S. intel just came out last week that Russia could attack the Baltics in the next 2 weeks. I don't really buy that. I think we're going to see a Russian attack on the Baltics in the next 4 months. They're about done with their buildup. What we're looking, well, Russia just moved a bunch more warships too into the Baltic region. They pulled them from the Atlantic. Um, Danish has moved an entire mechanized platoon to Latvia. Isn't that kind of interesting? They just moved an entire mechanized platoon, a NATO platoon, to Latvia. Isn't that just interesting? We're getting close to this. Y'all need to start topping off everything. I got more beans to do. It's my weekend. I'll be doing it all weekend. I probably got another 40 quarts to can. That one did not seal, and that one did not seal. I don't like these narrow mouth jars. I will not buy any more narrow mouth cannon jars. I have the awfulest time with them sealing. I can run a load of the wide mouth jars, and everyone seals. I have no problems. So I will not be buying no more narrow mouth cannon jars. I just used up my last few that I had right here, and out of these 7 quarts, I lost 2. The last 3 runs, I have lost a few quarts each cannon run. It's too much work to be putting into this stuff for them not to seal. So I will no longer be buying any more regular mouth Canning jars. I will only buy wide mouths. It's just too much work breaking all these beans just to have multiple quarts not seal. What is back here? Okay, there's a screw there I've got to cut off. I'll have to do that in a minute. I'm not going to do it right now. Oh, let's see here. Yep, exactly, Matt. That's the plan. That's definitely the plan there, Matt. You hit the nail on the head there with that. That's the reason why. That's exactly the reason why this Iran thing is going on. Down to the T. Exactly the reason why. Down to the T, bub. Down to the T. Down to the T. China is getting kind of antsy too, by the way. China is fixing to do some stuff. It's just a matter of time with China. We're going to see some stuff start to happen over in the Chinese theater very soon. So, Greenland says that they're ready to deploy the army if Americans attempt to drill without all the necessary permits from the Greenlandic authorities. While the U.S. media is downplaying the incident, the Danish Arctic Command is preparing a potential military intervention with the United States. Hey, y'all share these streams out. Share this YouTube stream out, folks. That's the only way people find us. Now we're having the same issues now with this channel already that we was having with the other channel. It's hidden already. So go in, grab our link here, and share us out on all your social media accounts. Oh, wow. Republican Representative Glenn Goffman says, I think we should be doing a little more for the rich.
Actually, I think we should do a little more, but we, right now, we are doing
Wow.
all we can. So there's a little bit of what's going on.
Wow. I'm going to play this audio for you all right here, right fast. Well, of course, Twitter is just whatever it wants to do here. Look at this. I have shared about 50 posts here today. Well, if you go here and look, we've got the YouTube. We've got one from 43 minutes ago and then 15 hours ago. It's not showing up. The stuff I'm sharing is not showing up on my feeds. Now, we've been having this problem. And see this 1573? We are stuck at that number. We'll bump up to 1575 and then boom, back down to 1573. This has been going on for 2 months now. Folks, they do not want what we are telling you to come out. They don't want you to know about all this stuff. Now, I'm going to have to bookmark this in my bookmarks to be able to come over here and get this post. Now, this is getting a little ridiculous. Now, listen to this.
Right now. So there's a little bit of what's going on. Don't let anybody tell you the people running Congress right now are looking out for the rich. Actually, I think we should do a little more, but we don't, right now, we are doing all we can. So there's a little bit of what's going on. Don't let anybody
There you go.
tell you the people running Congress right now are looking out for the rich. Actually, I think we should do a little more, but we don't, right now, we are doing all we can.
They're doing all they can, and he says, I think we should be doing a little more for the rich. Yeah, Retro. I know. I've talked to Lee. They know that we know what's fixing to happen, and if it came out to the masses, everyone would panic. That tells me that I'm right on the path of what is fixing to happen. So, and also, I'm going to share a link to some FBI notes here about what Trump done in 2016 to somebody. There, check that out, folks. That is wild. Go over and check that out. Check it out. Yemen has destroyed 2 ships transporting weapons from Saudi Arabia to the Saudi-backed forces in Yemen. And there's video here of 2 ships on fire. This has just happened. So, the H in Yemen has hit 2 ships transporting weapons from Saudi Arabia to the Mokala port for Saudi-backed forces in Yemen. Senior Pentagon official. Now, folks, I am going to let my reader read this off. This is massive. This is absolutely massive news here. Listen to this.
Breaking. Senior Pentagon official Elbridge Colby says the U.S. is currently reviewing the strategy for the specific and potential use of nuclear weapons as part of a Nuclear Strategy Review. U.S. Strategic Command Head Admiral Richard Carell adds the Department of War is looking at ways of expanding options available to Trump and providing the decision space for any conceivable escalation scenario. Carell says this spans from non-kinetic conventional capabilities to, if you would envision, some kind of limited nuclear exchange to high-end escalation, as an escalation maneuver.
I'm going to play that again.
Breaking. Senior Pentagon official Elbridge Colby says the U.S. is currently reviewing the strategy for the specific and potential use of nuclear weapons as part of a nuclear strategy review. U.S. Strategic Command Head Admiral Richard Carell adds the Department of War is looking at ways of expanding options available to Trump and providing the decision space for any conceivable escalation scenario. Carell says this spans from non-kinetic conventional capabilities to, if you would envision, some kind of limited nuclear exchange to high-end escalation, as an escalation maneuver.
Folks, that concerns me a little bit. Yep, small ones. But still, I'm going to make a phone call on this just a second. Give me just a second. I'm back. France's 10-year bond yield has hit 4.054%, the highest since the 2009 financial crisis. France is running a deficit above 6% GDP, double the EU limit.
All stations.
EAM.
All stations. This is Jim Dandy. Jim Dandy. Break. Kilo. 7. November. Romeo. Golf. Charlie. Standby. Kilo. 7. November. Romeo. Golf. Charlie. Standby. Kilo. 7. November. Romeo. Golf. Charlie. Standby. Message of 75 characters.
75 characters, folks.
Kilo. 7. November. Romeo. Golf. Charlie. Quebec. Yankee. 4. Tango. Sierra. Juliet. Uniform. 3, 3, Zulu, Delta, Charlie, Foxtrot, 2, Zulu, Delta, Charlie, 6, 2, India, Papa, Tango.
Folks, I don't think I've ever heard 75 kHz EAM. This could be 234s with a break in the middle, though.
Bravo, Tango, Mike, Foxtrot, 7, Lima, Tango, Hotel, November, India, 3, 4, Quebec, Delta, November, Bravo, Alpha, Mike, Foxtrot, 7, Lima, Tango, Hotel, November, India, 3, 4, Quebec, Delta, November, Delta, Oscar, Mike, Foxtrot, 7, Lima, Tango, Hotel, November, India, 3, 4, Romeo. I say
Why did YouTube just do that? I put 75C EAM and it's translated it to 75 cents.
Romeo,
Really, YouTube?
Golf,
Why are you doing this stupid stuff?
Quebec,
If you hover over it with a mouse, it goes back to 75C EAM.
Tango, Sierra, Juliet, Uniform, 3, 3, Zulu, Delta, Charlie, Foxtrot, 2, Zulu, Delta,
Okay, it's not going to do that this time. This is stupid, YouTube. Why are you doing stuff like this?
India, Papa,
Get the little Chinese-looking emblem out there beside of it, too.
Golf, Quebec, Delta, November, Bravo, Tango, Mike, Foxtrot, 7, Lima, Tango, Hotel, November, India, 3, 4, Quebec, Delta, November, Bravo, Alpha, Mike, Foxtrot, 7, Lima, Tango, Hotel, November, India, 3, 4, Quebec, Delta, November, Delta, Oscar, Mike, Foxtrot, 7, Lima, Tango, Hotel, November, India, 3, 4, Romeo. To the complete message of 75 characters, this is Jim Dandy out.
Jim Dandy. Very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, let's see here. Oh, Trump has ordered the Navy to rip out the Ford-class carrier's electromagnetic catapults and go back to the 1950s steam power. In the middle of an active conflict, folks, with a potential conflict with Russia and the horizon within the next few months. And let me tell you, when Russia makes its moves on NATO, China will start making its moves on the Taiwan area. And here we are, going to be in the middle of ripping electromagnetic catapults out of our Ford-class carriers to go back to 1950s technology. Yippee! Along with us building battleships again. You can't make this stuff up. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. North Korea to send another 50,000 troops to Russia for its war against Ukraine. This is coming out of European intelligence from DW News. According to the publication, North Korea is preparing a significantly larger reinforcements than during the previous phase of cooperation with Moscow. North Korean troops may be deployed to the Kursk, Bryansk, and Belgorod regions, where they would hold the front lines, allowing Russian troops to be redeployed. North Korea may also send engineers, construction workers, and medical personnel to Russia. So, folks, yep, you guys heard that right. North Korea is going to send another 50,000 troops to Russia. This will put North Korea at about 100,000 troops in this war. Yep, sabotage is on the increase going forward. Exactly, Retro. Exactly. Trump says deployments to Iran have not gone on nearly long enough. Responding to a question about the USS George Washington heading to the Middle East to replace the USS Abraham Lincoln. So after all of this publicity and pushback that this administration has got now from the families of these sailors on the USS Lincoln, they're finally going to rotate ships. After this ship has done been put through the ringer and it's going to need just ungodly amount of repairs. Folks, we are running our equipment into the ground. You've got to rotate this stuff. You can't do what they are doing with our equipment. Multi-billion dollar, multi-hundred billion dollar pieces of equipment. And we're running it into the ground and destroying it. This is ridiculous. You've got to rotate this stuff. You can't expect to put soldiers or sailors out there on the front lines for 9 months straight with 2 days off and expect the equipment to hold up either. Yep, Matt. You've got to rotate this stuff. And the Bush that's going to replace this, no, the Washington's going to replace this. Okay, never mind. But the George H.W. Bush is in theater and has been in theater for 135 days. So we're going to have to relieve it too. And the George Washington has already been at sea for 85 days. Now, the Ford that we put over there, it was on deployment for 326 days. And it's now having to have major repairs and is not even seaworthy right now. Just, and watch out. You'll see when the Abraham Lincoln comes back, it will be in the same shape as the Ford is, and it's going to have to be having major repairs. You can't run this equipment like we're trying to run this equipment. You just can't do it. We didn't even do this stuff like this during World War II. U.S. is demanding that NATO allies pledge loyalty to the Trump foreign policy before committing money to the alliance. Yep. Specifically asks if they publicly support the U.S. incentives in the Middle East and Western Hemisphere, and if they lift restrictions on the U.S. military using their bases. Trump wants to know how loyal each NATO ally is to Donald Trump's policies before cutting military assets defending the alliance. In a document recently sent to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization members, the U.S. asked a series of questions to gauge support for the president's approach. Has the country been publicly supportive of U.S. foreign policy? What restrictions has the country placed on U.S. military using its bases? The document also tries to assess whether countries are spending money with the U.S. defense contractors. And U.S. defense contractors, and asked whether they have public opposed regulations that inhibit contracts with the U.S. firms. Overall inquiries, has the country shown alignment with the U.S. approach to a strong, clear, and quiet, referencing a line from a Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Just amazes me. Want to know how loyal they are to Donald Trump's policies. Oh, Kristi Noem and Mark Wayne Mullen are now blaming each other for ICE buying 10 planes to deport my immigrants without having the crew to fly them. The planes have largely sat idle, minus 3 Lurch-Lee jets being used to ferry around Trump officials like Kash Patel. They paid $464 million for these planes. for 10 of them. That's what, $46 million a piece. If you ask me, somebody saw them coming for $46 million a piece. I'm not surprised, though. Uh, New data reveals that there has been 7,400, yes, you heard me, 7,400 foodborne illnesses in 2026. That's 5 times more than the yearly national average from the last 5 years. Goodness gracious, folks. We've got a national Iranian VLCC supertanker loading 2 million barrels of crude oil at Iran's Karg Islands. A Signal 2 satellite imagery from today shows. Smoke seen rising in Tehran, Iran. That is the capital of Iran. Global yields are surging while China's are plunging. This war is also aimed at China. It's where most of Iranian oil exports are going. But instead of blowing up the bonds, it's backfiring, and every major bonds in the Western Alliance is going sky high. And China is going down. China's 10-year bond is at 1.68%. That's going to really appeal to investors.
Two aircraft pretty much merged with the same call sign. That's pretty incredible. Dragon 2482 if you're...
Let's see here. The U.S. budget jet deficit in July only. In July of 2025, the U.S. budget deficit was $291 billion. Can anybody tell me what the budget deficit? That means how much we are in the hole for this July of 2026. Anybody? The deficit was $291 billion in July of last year. Can anybody tell me what the budget deficit is of July of 2026? I'll give you a little hint. It's the largest shortfall for any July in history and the highest overall deficit since March of 2021. No, it's not that high. It's not trillions. But it's the largest shortfall for any July in history and the highest overall deficit since March of 2021. It is $432 billion. Yes, you heard me right. Last year's was $291 billion. This year's is $432 billion for July. A 48.5% increase in 1 year. And we are over $40 trillion in debt now. But we just keep spending. Yep, this is nuts. Our budget deficit for July of this year is $432 billion, half of a trillion almost. Just for this month. Yeah, well, not this month, last month, July. And the only reason why the deficit was so much in March of 2021 is because of what was going on in 2021. This is the largest shortfall for any July in history. Yeah, it's a complete failure, bottom feeder bass. Let's see here.
With the vaccines, the food system.
Let's see here. Okay, I am going to let my reader read this off. I'll probably have to bookmark this because Twitter is not sharing anything that I'm sharing on my personal feed, so I can go to the other computer and get it. Let's see here. This is a little kind of update on Iran.
Hormuz, the crisis is moving further away from a quick diplomatic exit and towards sustained coercion on both sides. 2 more ADNOC vessels were attacked while transiting the Strait of Hormuz on Thursday evening. No injuries were reported and ADNOC says the situation aboard both ships was brought under control. The UAE directly blamed Iran, calling the attacks acts of piracy by the Revolutionary Guards. Tehran had not publicly responded to the accusation at the time of reporting. The attacks come less than a week after another ADNOC-linked vessel was hit. More importantly, they are happening while commercial traffic remains a fraction of pre-war levels. Capeler tracked 9 commodity vessels through Hormuz on Thursday, up from 5 on Wednesday but still below an August average of 12 per day. Before the war, roughly 130 to 140 vessels typically crossed the strait each day. Most of Thursday's traffic again used the Iranian shipping route. At the same time, Washington is preparing for a longer confrontation. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. Navy can maintain the blockade of Iranian ports indefinitely by rotating ships through the theater. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says a further escalation in economic pressure is coming, describing measures intended to impose an unprecedented level of isolation on Iran. That does not mean an indefinite blockade has formally been ordered. But the signaling has changed. Washington is publicly presenting the operation as something it can sustain even if negotiations remain stalled. The same applies on the Iranian side. Tehran continues to use access to Hormuz as leverage, while shipping behavior shows that it retains enough coercive capacity to keep commercial operators cautious regardless of competing U.S. and Iranian claims of control. So the important development today is not simply that 2 more ships were attacked. The emerging pattern is a longer-term contest. Iranian pressure on commercial access versus an American blockade and increasing economic isolation. The immediate risk is that the next attack does not end without casualties. A serious strike on an Emirati or other Gulf state vessel could turn what remains primarily a U.S.-Iran maritime confrontation into a much broader regional problem. Watch today. UAE response, identification and damage assessment of the 2 vessels, any Iranian response to Abu Dhabi's accusation, and details of Washington's next economic measures.
There you have it, folks. There you'll have it. Isn't that just awesome? They're talking about this going on for a long time. I mean, like, why wouldn't it? But remember, I thought we was going to end these forever wars. Yep, folks, you was lied to. You was conned. You was conned. Conned, conned, conned. So how is everyone today? Hope everyone's having a decent day. Hope everyone's having a decent day today. What did I do with that? I just had... What the heck, folks? Oh, I know what I've done with it. I'm going to go through here a little bit longer with a little bit more news. Just to add 2 of them. I'm going to add 1.5. I'm going to do that. I want to try this stuff. Let's see how that tastes. Do 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 do. What's anybody's thoughts on that 75 character EAM that just came in not long ago? I'm sure I've done read it off once here, but Trump, in a little interview with the press on the runway here with Marine One helicopter in the background, says, the service members aboard the USS Lincoln for almost 9 months have not been deployed for deployed for not nearly long enough. So he wants to keep them at sea. Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. Bought some of this Rizee's mushroom coffee. And let me tell you, this stuff is good, folks. I've been wanting to try it for a long time. I may send them an email to see if we could maybe partner with them. And so I need to get a hold of Rizee's. And see about maybe partnering, do a little, so we can get some discount codes and maybe do a little ad for them. It's Grayfon. It tastes to me just like actual coffee, and it's kind of in the middle of bold and mellow. It's good, really, really good, really good. Don't buy it off Amazon, though. Go to their actual website. But yeah, I'm going to get a hold of them and see if we can't get maybe some discount codes and some stuff. But it's really good. I was skeptical at first, but I can't see the ads on YouTube and Facebook. And if you read the comments underneath the ads, they've got nothing but really good comments. It's really, really good. Really good. I'm very surprised right now how good it actually is. And by the way, folks, I'm not getting paid to say this at all. But I'm going to reach out to them, though, definitely here, and see about maybe getting some kind of little partnership or something. Yeah, lion's mane. It's got a bunch of different types of mushrooms in it. Let me get a pack of it here, and I'll read off what it's got all in it. Corceptus relish. I'm sure I'm butchering these. Lion's mane. Shilitek, turkey tail, and king trumpet. It's got, I think, 48. It's got 48 milligrams of caffeine per 1 tablespoon, which is good for 6 to 8 ounces of hot or cold water. I heated me up some water in the microwave, about 8 ounces of it. And the deal that I got with this, it came with their vanilla creamer, which is really good too. But one pack of their stuff makes 30 cups. I'm not for sure if that's 6 or 8. Well, I mean, if it would be 36 ounces or 38 ounces, whichever way you want to make it. And what's neat about this, it don't go out until 5/5 of 2028. So it's good 3 years.
Hey,
Hey, Charlie.
hey, I'm
Yeah,
back in the house now.
That stuff's good for 3 years, so that would be something that you could put up on in food storage there, Grayfon. It comes in Mylar bags, which you might be able to repack it, put it in like mason jars or another Mylar and vacuum seal it with some oxygen absorbers in it. and get more than 3 years out of it. But it's really good. I will be getting more of it.
I think I got it figured out. Hey, Retro.
One good deal there, Charlie.
I'm probably going to have to do some soldering, though. I sure don't want to call a AC service tech to come out because I know what he's going to do. He's going to replace all the circuit boards and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
But the one of the wires from the thermostat inside the house goes to the control unit that sets on the heat exchanger outside, and it's got a strip of connector strip, where the wires screw on and connect, and it's loose on
Wow.
the circuit board. And I'll just bet you that the solder points behind the circuit board is loose.
Yep.
And one of those connections have come loose. So I'm going to have to get
Well,
that whole thing off
Harbert Freight's
and
got some good little
resolder
solder
connector
guns.
on there. What's that?
Harbert Freight's got some awesome solder guns.
Oh, I've got solder guns.
Okay.
That's not the problem.
I just picked up one of theirs.
I'm going to have to label each one of the wires to the circuit board.
Let me give you a little hint. Go to Lowe's or somewhere and get you a whole pack of different color tape, or go find you a pack of different color zip ties.
Yep. I know exactly
Makes it
what
easier.
You mean. So I got to, label all those wires and then take them off the circuit board, take the circuit board off, and
Wow.
I'll just bet you, I'm pretty sure that little connector bar, you know what I'm talking about, with the screws on it. It's from vibrations in the thing. The solder points have probably come loose back behind there. So I'm just going to solder them, see if that works. I sure don't want to have a service guy come out. That'll be hundreds of dollars.
What we've been talking about today is Latvia shot down a drone this morning. They have found 5 drones in Romania today. And
before I went to bed last night, I was posting stuff.
Hang on a second. Trump,
Latvia.
The War Department is going over. Hang on a minute. Let me find this. I think I bookmarked it. Currently reviewing the strategy for statistic and potential use of nuclear weapons as part of a nuclear strategy review. U.S. Central Command head Admiral Richard Krell says the Department of War is looking at ways of expanding options available to Trump and providing the decision space for any conceivable escalation scenario. They're reviewing the strategy for the potential use of nuclear weapons.
Oh, heaven help us. Yeah, but before I got offline last night, Latvia was sending out warnings to its citizens to get ready to take shelter.
Yep.
And the emergency system was activated.
Yep. British military leaders are increasingly concerned that a major escalation between the British Navy and Russia could occur around the Northern Sea.
They're just getting bolder and bolder, aren't they?
That heavy guarded ferry the other day, you know where it went to, that whole platoon of Danish troops?
No.
Latvia.
Huh. That's interesting.
And here today, they shut down a drone. Well, they found 5 drones in Romania today, too, by the way. One of them crashed in a field, flew over into Romania and crashed today.
So how many times since January, how many times has there been a Russian drone that has actually impacted in either Poland or some other NATO land?
Too many to count, Charlie.
Man.
It's becoming a daily occurrence. It's either a missile or a drone daily. Well, yesterday, Poland came out and said they arrested the guy that was trying to assassinate a U.S. citizen in Poland.
Yeah, I was reading about that.
That
earlier.
was backed by Russian security services. We're getting close. We're getting very close to all this kicking off.
Hey, Taxi. Good to see you, brother.
So I'm going in overdrive on bean cannon this weekend. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's see here. I'm up to now.
Hi, Gray Fawn. Hi, Mike
I'm up.
Johnson. Good to see you.
I'm up to 230
Anthony.
quarts.
Oh, Anthony, good to see you too, brother. Been a while.
I'm up.
Glad you're out of the hospital.
I'm up to 230 quarts of beans.
Holy cow, man.
Oh, the FDA has just issued a Class 1 recall of 1.6 million eggs, potentially contaminated with salmonella. Class 1 recall indicates that exposure could cause serious adverse health consequences or death.
Yep, that's
Do
salmonella
you
for you.
know that we've had 7,400 incidents this year? 5 times the average over the last 5 years. And we've still got 4 months of this year left.
I don't know what's going on there. Is it a failure inspection?
We got huge news. No Moscow, no St. Petersburg. Russians need to be massively relocated from cities to rural areas as war between Russia and the West and the use of nuclear weapons are almost inevitable. Alexander Duggan, a key ideologist of Putin.
Things are coming to a head really fast.
That is huge.
Who was that again? Say that name again.
That's Alexander Duggan. There it is on screen right there, folks. They're talking about moving people out of St. Petersburg and Moscow.
What? Oh
They're
my
saying
gosh.
he says the Russians need to be massively relocated from cities to rural areas as war between Russia and the West and the use of nuclear weapons are almost inevitable, which is imminent.
Yeah. Let me get that. Hold on just a second. Get that dang phone out of here.
Here we go, folks. As you can see, it's up on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. It's coming.
Sorry about that. I had to get that phone out of here.
What I have been saying for the last going on 5 years now. I told you 5 years ago how this would play out. And we are to that point.
So you're telling me that they're actually making plans to evacuate St. Petersburg and Moscow?
Read what's on the screen right there.
Man. Of course, that's not coming from an official source, but still. Pretty scary stuff.
It's coming from Alexander Duggan.
Duck and cover, guys. I remember those stupid things, those stupid drills when I was a kid in school. It was just so people felt like they were doing something because it wouldn't matter anyway. Yep, it's a bad feeling, Rosie.
Take it how you wish, folks. That's coming from Alexander Duggan. So, let's see here. Here you go. 1 hour after announcing his he's going to resign. Resignation. U.S. Joint Chiefs of Chairman General Randy George has said Donald Trump should be hospitalized immediately. I doubt his mental fitness. He is leading the U.S. military towards disaster.
That's how many major brass now that have quit just in the
Yep.
last few months.
Saying that he's psycho too. But yeah, I agree with Randy here. I completely agree with Randy. You know, finally, the Lincoln, after all this pushback from military families, they're going to be relieved now. But the ship that's going out there to relieve them has been at sea for 184 days. So now
You can't keep pushing this stuff like that.
the Lincoln is going to come back and have to go into dock for extended repairs, along with the Bush, that is now in dock for extended repairs too. Oh, and Trump announced today he is going to tear out all the electromagnetic catapults and go back to steam on our aircraft carriers.
Yeah, I was reading about that. Did you see my comments on it?
No.
No, it's if it's working, don't fix it. Why go back to steam?
Because he's stuck in the past. He wants to build battleships.
I mean, I understand, wanting to upgrade to different technology, but you don't just, take a aircraft carrier out of service to change that. You start from scratch. It's like a whole different platform.
They're not made for these systems.
Right.
So now we're going to put these carriers in extended maintenance while the Russian theater is heating up and the Chinese are fixing to make moves on Taiwan. We're not going to have no ships.
Imagine
Charlie,
that. What time?
He is running all of our equipment in the ground to begin with his Iran debacle over here. It's exactly that's what I've been trying to tell everybody. This Iran thing was a trap for us to expel our ammunition.
I just don't get it.
Run our ships.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. But this Iran thing was a giant trap by the BRICS for us to expel massive amounts of our ammunition and run our ships to the point to where we have to have them in dry dock almost for extended repairs. They're saying the repairs on the Bush could take a year. And Lincoln is fixing to have to go over there, and I guarantee you that it will have to be for repair. These sailors are having to go plumb to the other side of a ship to use the bathrooms. They're all broke. I reckon the whole thing is it's about to fall apart from what I'm seeing that families are saying. And I take that with a grain of salt. You can't run this equipment like this.
And you can't run the people like that.
No.
Running them into the ground.
He said today that they haven't been deployed near long enough.
What?
Yes.
I mean, it's already broken records, hasn't it?
Yeah. That one was, the Bush was deployed for 362 days or something. Like that. But yeah, Trump says the U.S. service members aboard the Lincoln. Here, I'll play this. I'll play the audio to this over here on this other screen. I'll let you listen to it. Here you go.
What do I have to say?
Family members of U.S. service members are concerned about the conditions on board the USS Lincoln.
Well, no, that ship is moving. No, they're not. That ship is moving right now.
He says the ship is moving.
Very shortly, and it's being replaced with another very similar ship.
Has the deployment gone on too long? Are you worried
No.
about
Not nearly long enough. Okay, what else do I have to say?
Family members of U.S. service members are concerned about the conditions on board the USS Lincoln.
Well, no, that ship is moving. No, they're not.
Well, no, the ship is moving, and no, they're not concerned. What is wrong with him? Charlie?
I just don't know. I first of all, I can't stand it when executives want to micromanage what belongs to the military.
Yep.
Let the experts, let the military run it. That's my feeling. I mean, that was the same problem we had in Vietnam. You know, the politics got in the way. You need to set goals and then complete the goals and let the military take care of it. They're the experts. Don't you agree?
Yep.
And you don't micromanage this stuff.
Nope.
And I wonder if Congress, regarding these changes and modifications, you know, Congress controls the purse strings. So I wonder if Congress could get involved and say, nope, we're not going to
They're
change
not
all
going
that
to,
right
though.
now.
Congress is not going to do a thing. They've done proven this over and over again, but Congress is not going to do nothing. They're too scared of him.
Well, right now in Congress, the Republican control is just razor thin. All it takes is a couple of defections, and they can vote against him.
Yeah.
So maybe Congress could get involved if they wanted to, because like I said, it only takes a couple of defections now to pass bills and that sort of thing, and to pass bills for the money to pay for certain things. So maybe Congress could get involved and circumvent.
They're
all
not
these
going to get involved,
modifications.
though. They're not going to do it. They're not going to. Charlie. They haven't done it yet. They're not going to. Now, I want you all to listen to this just a second. What Iran has just unrevealed. 171 aircraft, majority drones that they have downed, including 10 crewed aircraft. You know, they've downed over a quarter now of our MQ-9s, and they just downed another one today.
How many we got in the inventory?
Well, a quarter of them's gone now.
Wow.
I'm going
And
to let
those
you
things
all...
cost like how many hundreds of millions of dollars a piece, or tens of millions?
I think it's millions. It's not the other. It's not the ISR one. These are the Reapers.
Okay. The propeller-driven ones.
Yeah. Here, listen to this.
Breaking. Iran has just unveiled a comprehensive exhibition of U.S. and Israeli aircraft wreckage recovered during the Iran war at an underground IRGC Aerospace Force air defense base. According to the
I'll share a link to this
IRGC,
because there's video
1.
of all this.
Wreckage on display includes a US F-15E, multiple MQ-9 Reapers, multiple Hermes 900s and Hermes 450s, Elon Musk's Starlink devices, and an intact Israeli Hermes 900 drone. 2. 171 aircraft, majority drones, were hit during the Iran war, including 10 crewed aircraft. 3. The US F-15E was shot down on April 3 using a new domestically produced Iran air defense system and missile combined with unconventional tactics, leaving the crew only seconds to react before impact. 4. More than 85% of Iran's air defense production infrastructure survived the war, with production rates for several missiles and systems now above pre-war levels. 5. Iran also displayed Starlink terminals recovered from U.S. and Israeli UAV operations and networks inside Iran. 6. The wreckage displayed represents only a portion of the aircraft and drones brought down. The IRGC says drone and missile production is now running at levels stronger than before the war.
Nope, there you have it. 85% of Iran's defense production infrastructure survived the war so far. Do you know that cities are increasingly making it illegal for you to sleep in your car? Even if you're only a option in Tennessee, it's a felony, punishable by 6 years in prison now.
My mic was muted, sorry. I was just reading an article just the other day that Israel was saying that they were stunned at how fast the IRGC is recovering
Yeah.
and ramping up their production, and they're going to be they're basically almost back to where they were when they started.
Yeah.
And that's a whole big wild card right
Like I
there in
said,
my mind is Israel.
They're getting help from China and Russia.
Yep. But I think Israel's going to go it alone. I don't think they're going to depend on the U.S. anymore. I mean, they want to. Don't get me wrong. We're their biggest ally. But Israel's not going to just sit on their hands. They're going to do what they need to do. And I look for them to conduct a massive strike themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably notify Washington, but they're going to say, we're doing it whether you guys join us or not. That's what I look for anytime.
Yep. Now, I want y'all to listen to this just a minute, and we'll get back to this debacle over here in the Middle East. This is the debacle that is happening within the U.S.
In the U.S., you can get a felony and 6 years in prison for sleeping in your car. For domestic assault,
you heard that right,
you
sleep in your
only
car.
get a misdemeanor, a maximum of 11 months in prison. For many Americans, a vehicle is the last line of defense against sleeping on the streets. Yet, across the United States, local governments are rapidly enacting ordinances that outlaw vehicle residency and overnight parking. From major hubs like San Francisco,
Even if it's overnight.
And Los Angeles to smaller municipalities like Colorado Springs, local authorities are expanding camping bans to target those sleeping in cars and even RVs. These laws carry severe penalties.
You can't even sleep in your RV.
Penalties, including steep fines, misdemeanor charges, immediate vehicle impoundment, and sometimes even a felony. For individuals turning to their cars as a temporary safety net, a single citation can trigger a cycle of debt and legal trouble that makes escaping homelessness nearly impossible. The nationwide wave of criminalization has intensified following the landmark 2024 Supreme Court decision in City of Grants Pass v. Johnson, which ruled that penalizing people for sleeping in public does not violate the Eighth Amendment. This ruling gave cities broad authority to enforce camping bans, even in areas with severe shelter shortages. In Tennessee, you can get a Class E felony for sleeping in your car, and up to 6 years in prison. Domestic assault is just a Class A misdemeanor, punishable by up to 11 months in prison. In fact, you can't be charged with a felony for domestic assault until your third time. While municipal leaders argue these measures keep public spaces clean and safe, civil rights advocates warn they criminalize survival. Instead of addressing the systemic shortage of affordable housing, these ordinances penalize working-class Americans who are simply priced out of the rental market. Source: American Civil Liberties Union.
It says right there. And overnight parking from major hubs like San Francisco, Los Angeles to smaller areas like Colorado Springs, local authorities are expanding camping bans to target both sleeping in cars and even RVs. You can't
So
sleep
you
in your
can't. So you can go to jail for sleeping in your car.
in even your RV. These laws carry severe penalties, including steep fines, misdemeanor charges, immediate vehicle impoundment, and sometimes even a felony. In Tennessee, you can get 6 years in prison in a Class E felony.
That's pretty dang crazy.
Even if it's just overnight. And even in an RV that's meant to sleep in. So if you're on a road trip, folks, and want to pull over in the Walmart parking lot or somewhere
A rest area.
to camp, to sleep overnight.
Oh, I've done that lots of times.
Yep.
Pull over in a rest area and snooze for a while when I'm on a long trip. I mean, that's kind of what they're there for, really, is to give you some time off of driving and wake up a little bit.
I just
That blows my mind. I mean, I wonder what they consider, is there a time limit? Like, oh, you can't sleep for more than 2 hours, or is it
I
overnight, or
don't know.
what? So if you pull off into a rest area to take a rest, you can't sleep. What are you gonna do? Just sit there and listen to the radio or something?
I guess I'm speechless.
I mean, yeah, that just blows my mind because they used to encourage you to always pull over to a rest area, take a rest, take a nap if you want when you're tired driving. It's for safety. So now they're going to come through the rest areas and start
I don't
arresting
know if
people
it's for
because
rest
they're asleep.
areas. I don't know.
I'll have to get some toothpicks and prop my eyelids open so it looks like I'm awake instead of sleeping.
This guy looked it up in Tennessee. Truckers are allowed only 3 hours in a rest area. Apparently, if they pull over on any public road other than a rest area, they would be guilty. Tennessee has outlawed loitering of any kind anywhere on any public property. So even the truckers are getting hit. They can't. They're not allowed to. They're not allowed only 3 hours in a rest area.
Oh, you're kidding, Gray Fawn. Missouri now restricted the free camping spots in national forests, too? What is wrong with these people? We're losing our freedom so fast, guys. Hey, Go Spicy. It's been a long time since I've seen you. How you doing?
This is just wild. Absolutely wild. So just today we found out about the camping and the sleeping in your cars. And we had a drone shoot has been shot down over Latvia by NATO forces. Romania has now found 5 drones today alone. There was reports out that in 2025, Putin held a meeting and said that here, let me see if I can't. Let me go get this here because I want to read this off word by word a minute. Where is this at?
They want to control every single
Oh, I don't have
aspect
it,
of your
but
life.
this one right here, a senior Pentagon official Eldred Colby says the U.S. is currently reviewing the strategy for specific and potential use of nuclear weapons. As part of a nuclear strategy review, U.S. Strategic Command Admiral Richard Correll says the Department of War is looking at ways to expand options available to Trump. Why are we looking for ways to expand options available to Trump for the potential use of nuclear weapons? And to who? And X is still not letting me see anything I have shared today. So I can't come in here and talk about what I shared with in the feed about what Puddin done in 2025.
Hey, Graython, you mean you can't even stay on the property you just bought? Because of the towns fighting you? What
Oh, I
what the
see.
heck is
It's no
that all
longer
about?
in my post. I have to go to repost. They've got a new tab they've done to see anything I've shared today. So let me find this just a second. Also,
While he's doing that,
North Korea is fixing to send another 50,000 troops to Russia for the war against Ukraine, and also North Korea is going to send engineers, construction workers, and medical personnel to Russia. And also today, folks, for once that's joining us, Trump has ordered the Navy to rip out the Ford-class carrier's electromagnetic catapults and go back to 1950 steam power in the middle of an active conflict. Yemen Houthis have destroyed 2 ships transporting weapons from Saudi Arabia to Saudi-backed forces in Yemen. For the first time in the war, Iran has used underwater submarine drones last night on the attack of the 2 UAE oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. So now, Iran is using underwater submarine drones. And today, IRGC has downed another MQ-9 Reaper over southern Iran.
you say they found or shot down?
They've downed it.
Okay.
Last December, Putin, in an address to the military commanders, castigated European leaders for stoking hysteria over the threat from Russia. Soon afterwards, he gathered the leaders for a secret briefing to deliver the exact opposite message. Their goal for 2026, Putin told them, is the collapse of NATO and the EU from within. Moldova is central to this effort. In the hierarchy of the Kremlin priorities, the Western intelligence officials say conquering Ukraine first and then taking control of Moldova is second. And then you know what would be after that. Romania, Poland. Putin wants East Germany back. And he's not going to quit until Russia is either defeated or he gets what he wants. We've just this morning in daylight over the southeastern part of Romania, a Russian drone was seen flying over Chartova, Romania. Then it turned back over into Ukraine. I'm sorry, it did not go back into Ukraine. It crashed in Romania this morning, 5 kilometers from Ukrainian border. It crashed in a wooded area, exploded, and caused a fire. Romania's defense ministry said the drone was not detected by its radar systems and was flying at a very low altitude.
I'm really sorry to hear that, Rosie. You need to just take a break for a while. Getting yourself all worked up like this, it's not going to do you any good for you. Just take a break from the news for a little while. Calm down.
So today,
But I understand where you're coming from, Rosie.
Latvia has shot down a Russian drone, and then a Russian drone has crashed in Romania. And then Romania has found, I think, 5 drones today. One of them washed up on a beach. And here's what really gets me. Just not long after we done a big deal with Ukraine to buy drones, Trump has imposed tariffs on imported drones and drone components. Drones weighing more than 25 kilograms and models equipped with thermal imaging cameras will face 100% tariff. Smaller drones and other components will be subject to 25% tariff. Imports from the EU, Japan, South Korea, Switzerland, and Taiwan will face 15% tariff, while products from the UK will be subject to a 10% rate under certain conditions. Now, folks, why are we imposing high tariffs, some of them up to 100%, on drones and drone components that we need desperately? Make that make sense. Make that make sense. I've just also, folks, don't eat the eggs. FDA has issued a Class 1 recall of 1.6 million eggs contaminated with salmonella.
I got to look up did they give a list of what states it is primarily?
Give me a second. So we've got 30,000 pounds of beef has been recalled under Class 1 risk level. See here. Midwest Poultry Services, North Manchester, Indiana, first instigated its egg recall in July, announcing that 1.5 million cartons of eggs, including white eggs and brown cage-free eggs, have the potential to be contaminated with salmonella. They were produced between July 6th and July 3rd of this year in bare shell by their best buy dates for July 20th and August 17th. These eggs were produced in Texas but shipped to multiple locations throughout the South and Southwest, including food service retail outlets in Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas. Among the outlets where eggs available were Kroger stores in Texas and Louisiana, Brookshire grocery stores in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mexico, and Mississippi, and other small retail outlets.
You see what Retro just posted too? Taylor Farms are called salsa and guacamole.
What is going on, folks? I know what's going on. We stripped all the funding to the FDA and shut down a bunch of their stuff. So now there's
Not enough people to
nothing's
do
being
inspections.
inspections. That's what's the matter with this. It's never been this bad. And I'm gonna play this one more time about what's going on in the Middle East. because it's moving away. It's moving more and more away from a diplomatic ending.
Hey, dear Max, Ghost Spicy has a question for you there in chat. She wants to know if she can email you.
Yeah, give me an email there, Ghost. Y'all listen to
You
this
can
right
always
here.
you can always email Duramax. His
Yeah.
email shows up if you go to the channel information.
And listen to this a minute.
Hormuz, the crisis is moving further away from a quick diplomatic exit and toward sustained coercion on both sides. 2 more ADNOC vessels were attacked while transiting the Strait of Hormuz on Thursday evening. No injuries were reported, and ADNOC says the situation aboard both ships was brought under control. The UAE directly blamed Iran, calling the attacks acts of piracy by the Revolutionary Guards. Tehran had not publicly responded to the accusation at the time of reporting. The attacks come less than a week after another ADNOC-linked vessel was hit. More importantly, they are happening while commercial traffic remains a fraction of pre-war levels. Capeller tracked 9 commodity vessels through Hormuz on Thursday, up from 5 on Wednesday but still below an August average of 12 per day. Before the war, roughly 130 to 140 vessels typically crossed the strait each day. Most of Thursday's traffic again used the Iranian shipping route. At the same time, Washington is preparing for a longer confrontation. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. Navy can maintain the blockade of Iranian ports indefinitely by rotating ships through the theater. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says a further escalation in economic pressure is coming, describing measures intended to impose an unprecedented level of isolation on Iran. That does not mean an indefinite blockade has formally been ordered. But the signaling has changed. Washington is publicly presenting the operation as something it can sustain even if negotiations remain stalled. The same applies on the Iranian side. Tehran continues to use access to Hormuz as leverage, while shipping behavior shows that it retains enough coercive capacity to keep commercial operators cautious regardless of competing U.S. and Iranian claims of control. So the important development today is not simply that 2 more ships were attacked. The emerging pattern is a longer-term contest. Iranian pressure on commercial access versus an American blockade and increasing economic isolation. The immediate risk is that the next attack does not end without casualties. A serious strike on an Emirati or other Gulf state vessel could turn what remains primarily a U.S.-Iran maritime confrontation into a much broader regional problem. Watch today. UAE response, identification and damage assessment of the 2 vessels, any Iranian response to Abu Dhabi's accusation, and details of Washington's next economic measures.
Well, there you have it, folks. This isn't going to end anytime soon. You there, Charlie? Also, Fox News. Actually, Fox Business this morning. Lumber prices spiked to a 4-year high, driven by tariffs. Imagine that. Lumber prices has spiked to a 4-year high this summer because of tariffs. Charlie, you there? Your microphone must be muted.
Yeah, no, I'm here. I had it muted for a few minutes so I could listen to what was coming through online when you
Gotcha.
played that stuff.
We had a 75 character EAM this morning, not long ago, at 2:30.
Wow.
Don't think I've
Wow.
ever heard a 75 character EAM. Also, more than 100 drones has been detected near Romanian airspace over 96 hours. That's basically one drone per hour.
What is wrong with YouTube? I can't keep it live. I hit the live button and it goes out
They're
immediately.
messing with stuff. Several dozen. No, well, NATO fighter jets have been scrambled 7 times over 96 hours. Last 96 hours
Scrambled where?
in Romania.
Okay.
Most of the drones were destroyed by Ukrainian air defenses before reaching Romanian territory, but debris has been carried towards Romania by the Dunby and Black Sea waves. So there's a bunch of drones washing up on Romania's beaches. Romania authorities has raised air policing level alert 9 times and deployed a military helicopter 3 times. But Romania had one come over in its airspace too today and crash in a wooded area inside of Romania. That comes along with after NATO has downed a drone over Latvia.
We never hear about it, but I wonder if NATO are sending intelligence drones into Russia.
We're not sending them into Russia, but we're watching Russia from NATO's side.
So I'm just wondering what would happen if one of NATO's drones violated Russian airspace.
Yeah. We used to be able to directly fly over Russia. We had a treaty, open skies treaty or something, but that all kind of got done away with a long time ago. We used to fly U-2s and stuff over Russia.
Yeah, right. And SR-71s.
Mm-hmm. That was the main reason the SR-71 was made. That is the main reason the SR-71 was made.
Exactly. Replace the U-2. And it was supposed to have an altitude high enough that it couldn't be reached, but that soon came to an end too.
Oh,
but now we got satellites, so we don't need them anymore so much.
The UK government has issued a severe emergency alert for the whole country for wildfire risk. Look for fires to start breaking out across the UK from foreign adversaries. Watch and see if there isn't a bunch of fires break out here.
You know, that was a strategy that the Hez, and they were doing against Israel. They were sending balloons over that were incendiary.
Young, beautiful girls. These young.
What the heck is he talking about? I'm not going to play this on YouTube, but I'm going to give you all a link to it of Trump going on about. You heard that. I'm a microphone.
Yeah. Beautiful girls.
These starts with a Y, ends with a G. Beautiful, you know what? In the White House, they come in. Now I'm not supposed to say beautiful, but what the H? Just completely just creepy. The Yemen's Houthi has just struck a Saudi Aramco oil facility in Saudi Arabia. This comes in addition to the missile hits on the coalition-backed Makaka port in Yemen, leading to casualties and 2 ships on fire in the past hour. Now they've hit an oil facility in Saudi Arabia.
What's up with that? What do they call it? The Cairo Agreement or whatever between Saudi Arabia and Turkey and Pakistan? What's the update with that?
I'm not for sure, but there was some people, I forget what country it was very concerned with that.
Pakistan is the only predominantly Muslim country in the world that is armed with nuclear boom booms.
Yep. Britain fundamentally lacks the firepower and the naval ships to stop Russia seizing its cargo vessels, a defense source has told the Telegraph.
The
20 U.S. generals have resigned after rejecting Trump orders.
20?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
retirement of General George and yeah, I'd like
20. Folks, I don't know what's going to happen here. We're losing all of our senior leaderships. I will say some of them I'm glad to see go, but not all of them. Japan is considering tougher measures against Russia, including potentially strengthening existing sanctions after President Putin visited one of 4 Russian-controlled islands claimed by Japan. And Vladimir threatened Japan, too, by the way. Russian Ministry of Defense has posted a photo of drones flying in the air, and it says, "Out of the blue, in winter you will be frozen." Check this out. This is the photo that the Russian Ministry of Defense has posted. As you can see right here, Russian Ministry of Defense. "Out of the blue, in winter you will be frozen." And a bunch of drones. Now, are they referring to Europe?
Boy, the face of war sure has changed in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Creepy fact. Epstein made the rooms weird, so when his victims would try to explain the rooms to police, they would sound crazy, and they wouldn't believe the victims. I'm sure most of you people have seen pictures of rooms on that island. Faces hanging on the wall. Just plastic cutouts of faces, and it was just weird. I'll post a link for this. You all check out. Let's see here. We've got chaos in Greece as mega fires has burned more than 30,000 acres, double the size of Manhattan. Hey, folks. I've been live for way too long today on my YouTubes. I'm going to end the YouTube. So, what I'm going to do is give you all some links to the Rumbles. I've got stuff I've got to do. We've been live for 3 hours. Way too long. I've lost track of time. Take that link right there, click on it, get moved over to Rumble, as I'm going to end this stream here very soon. Got anything you want to talk about a second?
Not really. I'm going to go back and start working on, or get back to work on that circuit board on that heat exchanger unit on the outside.
Yeah.
The humidity here is about 95% out. It's just miserable.
A German company called Skywind has developed a rooftop wind turbine just 1.5 meters wide, weighing under 20 kilograms. It can produce 1,000 watts of peak power and around 615 kilowatt hours of energy per year. It comes with a grid inverter, storm protection, and everything needed for installation. Interesting.
Some parts of the country are really getting inundated with floodwaters, while other parts of the country are just bone dry.
Yep. There's massive flooding up in Ohio.
Yeah, in Indiana.
There's massive flooding up in northern Kentucky, too. Just not much far above me. And I don't know if you all have noticed, though, about where I said I've been saying for a while, just above me is going to be the cutoff. From me down, it's going to dry out. From me up, there's going to be just massive flooding everywhere. And that is happening now.
There's been some flooding around me lately. Fortunately, I'm up high enough that I don't get it. But
yep.
All around me, there's been lots of flash flooding.
Putin is planning on seizing southern Ukraine to create a land corridor connecting Russia with Moldova. There you go, folks. Here's Russian Ministry of Defense telegram. This is Larvo speaking. There will be no ceasefire in Ukraine. Moscow has no intention of halting hostilities along the current line of contact. Larvo. He further stated that attacks on civilian infrastructure will intensify in the near future. What is more on the Russian Ministry of Defense Telegram channel that are openly announcing genocide of Ukrainians through a combination of hundreds of drones and the freezing temperatures. That's that picture I just showed you. Right there it is, folks. It's what I've been telling you. Russia is not interested in peace. They don't want it. You cannot negotiate or make deals with people that do not want peace. Just like Iran, Russia, and China. They're not interested in peace. And here is Trump saying, we've got to make a deal. You can't make a deal with these people. They don't want deals. You've got to understand, Russia has to have these areas. I went over this earlier. They've got to have the Baltics for the ports, because the Bay of St. Petersburg will freeze solid. They've got to have Ukraine and the southern part of Europe to be able to grow crops. It's not an option. They have to have it. And if you look at it at that mindset, what you can go here and predict exactly what they're going to say and exactly what they're going to do years and months in advance. It's not that hard to see this stuff. Now, I've got a gift. I can see pattern recognition very, very, very good.
Any update on what's going on with all the flock cameras?
Well, some of them's been removed because they didn't know, or didn't.
This is Reach 200 Project.
Reach 214? Just came on the radio there. Some of them's been put up without any knowledge of the county. They don't know where they're coming from.
I was also reading an article that they're switching from flock camera. You know, flock, that's a private organization. And there's some new cameras going up that seems to be a bit mysterious. People don't know who owns them or where they're coming from.
Yep. Here's a video of ICE agents holding a man face down on the ground and then stepping on his neck with all their body weight. In the video, multiple agents rove a man onto his stomach to hold him down. Then one agent put his foot directly on the man's head. And he doesn't just briefly step on him. He pulls the other leg off the ground, putting his full body weight onto the man's neck. Then shakes his legs, applying even more pressure.
This was ICE?
Yep. I'm going to give you all a link to this. That guy is probably going to have severe problems now. Yep, right there it is.
Here we go again with the George Floyd stuff. You know what happens when you put your knee on people's necks.
Yep, right there's video of it. You can see it plain as day right there. He looks like he's limp afterwards. I'd say they may have done some bad damage to his neck. disc and nerve wise. Right there's a link to it, folks. There you go. Oh, Avasol defender Curtin Garcia spoke at the UN Security Council about surviving 2 years of Russia torture. He was electrocuted for having Spanish name and loving Ukraine.
Serviceman, I defended the.
Here is a link to that. All right, folks, we're going to end this YouTube. Go ahead and get your way over to the Rumble, as I've got a few videos I want to share and some other stuff that I can't share over here on the YouTubes. So here's you a couple more links to the Rumble channel. Go over and check it out. Subscribe. Join us over there. I'll be setting up a locals thing over on Rumble. That way you can have somewhere else instead Coffee Club to be able to join us and be able to get the membership link to our Discord. And you'll have other perks over there on the locals platform, which is integrated with Rumble. So go there, become a member on Rumble. It's just like a YouTube membership, but it's on Rumble. You can also do gifted memberships on Rumble and other stuff. So go over there and Rumble, sign up, become a member. I'll be setting that up this weekend on the locals thing. Yep, come Sunday at 5 p.m. there, and we will do that for you. You got anything to say there, Charlie, before we...
No, I'm writing this list down here for Grestarkian, so I don't forget to add her name and her aunt's. What's your aunt's name there, Grestarkian?
Something very interesting. Prosecutions for federal sex trafficking have declined 22% this year, plunging to the lowest rate since 2010. That's very interesting. Almost like somebody's being protected. It's declined 22% this year.
Hey, Grestarkian, what's your aunt's first name? So people will know who to lift up in prayer on Sunday.
Remember, Trump talked about this. He promised a crackdown on it.
Yes, I did, Grestarkian. I wanted to know your aunt's first name. So people, when we pray on Sunday, will know who to lift up in prayer. Just her first name. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Since
I'm
you got
adding
that,
it to my list.
since you got that now, Charlie, I am ending the YouTube stream. So you all take that Rumble link and get moved over to Rumble. You do not have to have a membership or a Rumble account at all to come over here and listen to us on Rumble. So with that, we will see you tomorrow for a Saturday roundtable that will be put out in Discord through the All Call channel.
All right. I'll see you guys over on Rumble. I'll be off and on chat all day, in between working on my air conditioner.
Hey, folks. See you in Rumble.
Take care, guys. God bless you.
All right.